Spike is low-key a fashion icon. An
Oh,
early
yeah.
2000s fashion icon. Like the slick back hair, but then the butterfly clips were in it. If like Lizzie McGuire went to high school, but was also best friends with Daria, that was the vibe.
Best dressed, here I come.
I'm Ari,
And I'm Asha.
and we're two friends who learned everything about life from the craziest school on television.
We'll be breaking down every episode of Degrassi The Next Generation and asking the question, does it still go there?
You're listening to
The Spirit Squad Rejects.
We are back. Hello, Asha.
Hello, Ari. How are you?
I am great. Spring is here. I'm feeling the spring vibes.
First week of spring. The sun is shining. It's 65 degrees in New Jersey, and I feel like wearing a tank top.
Yeah, the sun
So
is shining.
I did.
Bam! The sun is shining, the serotonin is flowing, and the Degrassi is on cue.
Degrassi, only in the end.
I enjoyed this episode, and I'm excited to break it down. But first, you know how we do here. What are you drinking?
I'm going to call this too much because there's too much gin in this glass. But it's gin, and then it's a cucumber lime mint mix, and then there's too much ice in here.
Love
That's
that.
all I have to
and
say.
how does it relate to the episode?
Because
Everybody's too much.
everyone but Emma's actually doing too much. I actually think Emma did the perfect amount. Jimmy and Ashley are doing too much, but we'll get
Too
there.
much. So today I am drinking a Greyhound. So for those who don't know, that's some fresh grape juice with some vodka. However, I'm gonna call this the go home Greyhound because some of these characters need to go to their own houses.
Go home, Roger.
I'm just kidding. I feel for
hilarious.
Jimmy. Shall we dive into this very fun episode?
I was here for Emma.
Like my mom says, never be embarrassed to be female.
Literally, I think I wrote in the notes, I was like, I wish that I had been this brave at 12.
So let's break down the synopsis real quick. You know how we've been doing it lately. We'll run through storyline B, then storyline A, then hit you with what we think Degrassi goes there.
So storyline B, Emma's feeling hot and emotional.
I saw that.
Wonder what that could be about. New attitude, new look, new monthly visitor. Emma gets her first period, and the way she handles it is the way we all wish we could have handled it when we were 12 years old.
I will say, not only was I an Emma fan this episode, I am so here for Sean Cameron and everything that he's offering.
I bet you people are making fun of me for how much I stand Sean and Emma. Strike it down right now. I'm here for the Sean and Emma development. But just wait till we get into this episode because I love them.
From the
him.
jump, I'm feeling Sean. Because storyline B opens up, they're in the computer lab.
I found the coolest site yesterday. It shows how the positions of the stars affect your personality. I need your date of birth and your place of birth.
I am so here for that. If I was 14 and Sean Cameron, bad boy Sean Cameron is out here asking me what my sign is. Are you kidding? That is everything. So from the start, I'm so into it. But Emma is we can see that she's very irritated. She's very emotional. So she has kind of an outburst with her friends.
Blah, blah, blah. I can't even think. Are you coming?
And then we cut to her at home. And at home, she's watching like a telenovela and she's like crying. So we see something is up emotionally, something's brewing.
Spike literally, her mother walks in on her sobbing and like saying this whole speech about how
We're just little specks floating alone.
Uh-oh, solar system anxiety. I remember it well.
and Spike just got it. She was like, I know what you're talking about. And it was funny because like, so did I. I was like, yeah, I get it. We're all insignificant on this earth, like mad emotional. So Spike's like, listen, let's go out. Let's get some retail therapy on and popping.
I love that she said, let's go spend my tips.
I know. So she's a
Yes,
hairdresser,
Spike.
but she definitely made it seem like she was something else.
I love that so much. But what happened at the mall?
So at the mall, nasty ass dude. I'm sorry. Nasty behind dude.
I was about to say that. I was about to be like, disgusting.
Quintessential like dirt bag. Like the staircase was here and he's like hiding behind it. And he's like
he was Pennywise coming out of the gutter with a balloon.
Facts.
Oh yes. Lay slow.
And he was like,
ooh, I'd like a lick of that.
He really said that, guys, by the way. Like, he really did say that verbatim. To a woman who is clearly with a child, because Emma does not look like a woman at this point.
Not at all.
Just got her first period.
Oh my gosh. Like literally a 12-year-old and Spike's young. Let's say like 20-something-year-old, like 28, 20. Let's say like our age, like 20-something. So like literally, so I'd like me to look at that because they're eating ice cream or whatever. And Emma had just started feeling better. And dude comes out of nowhere saying some nasty-ish. And then Spike goes,
Excuse me? Guess what? You don't talk to women like that. My daughter and I came here to shop, not to be harassed by some pig masquerading as a comedian.
So she was like, Mom, like, you're embarrassing, let's go. And she was like, no, you shouldn't be embarrassed. He should be embarrassed.
Seriously, Emma, don't ever let a guy make you feel bad just for being female.
Love that. I love that line.
No, it's iconic. I love it.
Now we're getting back to Sean. Part 1 of why I like Sean, the astrology, here for it. Part 2 of why I like Sean, the boy did pretty much absolutely nothing wrong in the start of this episode. Like, Emma had to freak out, obviously, because she's, emotional and she's going through something. She low-key popped off on him for really no reason whatsoever. Comes up to her at school and apologizes.
I came to apologize about that whole astrology thing.
Sean, you didn't even do anything wrong and you're apologizing. Part 2 as to why I am a Sean stan this episode.
I love Sean. He was like my absolute biggest boy crush. I was obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with Sean. I love some Sean and Emma. So he apologizes, mind you. Emma showed up to school snatched. Got the mini skirt on, has the turtleneck, the fitted turtleneck. She got her nice shoes on, and she was feeling herself. Like, I know I look good, but bump you.
Period.
Emma.
Oh my God! Maybe we shouldn't say that during this episode.
I saw that.
Oh. No, you should say that. That's actually perfect. I almost fell off my chair. Sean shows up. Emma gets up. Manny looks at Emma's backside and pulls her back.
Did you sit in something? No, what do I do? Don't panic. Everything's gonna be fine.
Like the true friend that she is.
Queen Manny, always and forever. So they haul ass to the bathroom.
I was surfing the Crimson Wave. I had to haul ass to the ladies.
And who stumbles into the bathroom while Manny is gone?
Wow, little Miss Save the World skipping a class. You're not protesting something, are you?
Paige Michael Sheck shows up.
This was like the first, I feel like, full redeeming Paige moment.
Yes.
I've got a pad. I like being a kid. You're still a kid, just with a mini pad. Big deal.
It was super nice. Then Manny barges in and she's like, I found something.
Emma! What? It's the girls' washroom. Sue me.
That was so iconic to me. I didn't realize that was like really the first. I actually think that's the first Manny and Paige moment. Them like running into each other in the bathroom, and they just kind of like stared at each other for a second, and it was like this.
It was uncomfortable.
Off. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this is setting the scene for what's to come." Is. Did you peep when Emma is in the bathroom stall? There is a graphic on the wall behind her, and it's a drawing of a boy in Sharpie, and then a little bubble above it that says "I heart JT."
Oh no!
And we all know who wrote that.
Are you kidding me?
I'm so serious. I noticed that. I was like, wait, what is this like doodle behind her? Also iconic, but also very out of character for Liberty, because at this point, We're thinking
would
it
you
was probably
deface school
Liberty who
property?
did that, and that's so not Liberty to deface school property. So maybe this is character development. Maybe we're looking too much into this. I don't know, but I live for it.
We all know that Manny and Emma are late to class at this point. They rush into class and Emma is wearing over like triple XL basketball shorts. So, and Manny's literally supporting her, holding the pants up for her as Emma's trying to present this book report. JT's sitting there throwing shade.
Aw. Did Emmy pee her pants?
Emma keeps trying to go through. Manny's like, just ignore it. Just get through this book report. And they're like, oh, did Emma pee her pants? Emma goes,
No, I just got my period for the first time. Menstruation, you may have heard of it, happens to 50% of the population. Perfectly natural.
to the entire class. I was like, I clutched my pearls. I couldn't believe it. Reason number 3 why we love Sean is he even like smiles and he just like admires the fact that Emma stood up for herself and said that. And I'm here for it and I love it.
Don't you feel like this is why when I was commenting on Dr. Sally, and I think I even said this in the episode, I was like, I feel like we need a more advanced sex ed and not just sexual education in the sense of like intercourse, but things like reproductive health, like how to, use a tampon or just knowing what the options are. I feel like is important so that you don't have these moments where I don't want to speak on behalf of women, obviously, but I feel like a lot of women are maybe not prepared.
I was just afraid to look down there. I was afraid to check myself out. I didn't understand what vaginal health meant. I remember hearing about pH and you have to make sure the pH in your vagina is okay, but like I didn't really understand what that meant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, there should be more of a push for environmentally friendly and, sanitary products, because there are things in these name brand pads and tampons that are poisonous to women and we're not even aware of it. And like, they don't have to put it in there. So like, if you can find a way, that's why I really do like the Diva Cup, and we should be taught how to research things that are healthy for our bodies.
Yes, queen.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. And it's something that it's natural and it's inevitable. And so it's like, this is something that, like Emma said, it happens to like what, 50% of the population. Like, shouldn't we be looking into a way that is more, that is healthier? I just want to say now, round 3 as to why Sean is the GOAT this episode. I am so here for Sean. Number 1, he apologized to Emma when he did nothing wrong. Number 2, he was so here for her speech about like, I had my period and it is what it is. Now, number 3, storyline B ends with basically Emma, because this is one of the things I admire about Emma is that she is sort of like an activist. She decides like, I'm going to create a petition.
Paige, do you want to sign my petition to get a tampon dispenser installed in the girls' washroom?
She gets Paige to sign it, of course. Even when Paige is she has a redeeming moment, she's still like low-key messy.
Hey, Sean, want to sign Emma's petition? For tampons?
Sure. If Emma came up with it, it's got to be a good idea.
I was such a fan of this storyline. I was such a fan of Emma, which is like rare that I say this, but I was really a fan of Emma. Really a Sean Cameron fan. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And overall, so here for it. Storyline.
It's about Jimmy. Jimmy's 14th birthday. He's a man. Talks about what his mom's gonna cook for his birthday dinner, right? She's gonna make lobster. She's gonna make, which I was like, you appreciate lobster at 14 years old?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't even appreciate lobster at 14 years old, but go ahead. So he was mad souped. He was telling Ashley to come over. He was like, so Jimmy walks away and Ashley like rolls her eyes.
What? You hate lobster? You hate his parents? I don't hate anybody. At least it's not at my house. He has had dinner with us 8 days in a row.
Sorry to interrupt, but can I just say one thing real quick? This is supposed to be an ensemble cast. And I'm really annoyed with the fact that like we are 9 episodes into season 1, and 50% of them have been Ashley focused episodes.
Hey, Ashley.
Ashley?
Ashley.
Ashley. Ashley? Ashley?
I don't support Ashley, especially after her trifling attitude last episode and with her dad. I don't support Ashley. However, I just want to preface this by saying that I was down the middle on this one. Like, I was like, I feel Ashley and how she's feeling in her relationship. I feel Jimmy, because like that is awful. I'm not like defending Ashley, but I feel like we should know she wasn't just like annoyed with her boyfriend that day. The reason that she was annoyed was because Jimmy has been spending literally every single day at her house, having dinner at her house every single day.
I already have a pseudo brother. I don't need another one.
He literally never is home. Like, he's always at my house.
Yeah.
Now I am in a serious relationship, but like, I do not like to be suffocated. I don't like that feeling. So I get her. Like, I would feel that way if my man, especially at that age, if my man is showing up to my house every single day and I'm seeing you at school every single day, and we know how the two of them are at school.
So are we still on for tonight?
It's a lot to begin with, especially at that age. Like, exactly what you said. Like, you don't have the language to be able to have a conversation like that and be like, can you back off?
Oh, that was way harsh, Ty.
Yeah.
Back off.
And I feel like I'm the opposite, where I live with my boyfriend. I have worked with my boyfriend while we were together, before we were together, and we've been together for almost 5 years. I don't often feel smothered. So when I see Jimmy spending all his time at Ashley's house, I'm like, that's dope. I wish my boyfriend in high school would spend every day at my house, because I want to be smothered. I want to be, and I honestly still need that time to myself, but at the same time, I understand boundaries. I'm really big on boundaries, but my boundaries are just, I want you close. That's my boundary.
Meanwhile, that's so funny that we had like the opposite reactions. Meanwhile, I'm like calling up my boyfriend like, if you ever I'm just kidding. He's great. I want to spend time with him. I enjoy spending time with him, but I don't like, if it was that type of situation, like, we worked together. In this case, you went to school, like we went to school together, and I see you, and every single day you're at my house, like, you're not doing anything with anyone else. That's too much for me.
Mind you, I'm literally working from home, and my boyfriend's like in bed chilling, and I'm 10 feet away from him working from home. And then I get a 5-minute break, and I go up to him. I'm like, I miss you. But we're sitting in the same room. Like, there's no reason for me to say I miss you.
I wish
he's sitting in the same room.
I wish that I was a little bit more like that. I don't like to feel suffocated. And maybe it's because I'm an only child. So like, I never had siblings. So I'm okay being alone. Like, I enjoy my own company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm good with it.
You come across as like a well-rounded adult who enjoys their alone time and also enjoys time with their significant other. Like you show your love and affection in different ways, and that's your love language. And sometimes your partner has a different love language. So maybe they enjoy more quality time and just like, you know, acts of service, which would be like, sometimes it'd be like, you know, you text them randomly or bring them a coffee, you know, just stuff like that. And that's their love language. And just because you're showing things a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that you don't love them or that you don't like spending time with them, but you just show your love differently. Let's round it out to the same thing with Ashley and Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy really enjoys, I mean, aside from the fact that Jimmy is not probably getting the affection and the quality time he craves at home, he's getting it from Ashley and her family.
Even when she's with her friends, she's having her girl time, which I feel like is necessary.
Yes.
And Jimmy comes up.
So you want to hang out with Mr. Right tonight?
Tonight? I can't. Terry's coming over. Girls' night. We talked about it yesterday, remember?
Girls' night, huh?
Well, cut to, she shows up at her. He's there before she is. Actually,
yes.
That's too much.
Which would also piss me off. Like, didn't I already say no, bro?
Just pretend I'm not even here.
That's what I mean. Where I'm like, okay, up until this point, I feel Ashley. I get that. Like, even though I don't like her as a character, I feel that. If I told you, you know what, we're not going to chill tonight, I want time with my friend, and then you're at my house before I'm at my house?
Like, oh, so you just didn't hear me. You just didn't listen, heard.
We're done.
Done.
We're done. Please leave.
Go home.
While I'm at it, I'm like, Toby, you too. I don't even know where your home is, but go. So Ashley, when she sees Jimmy at her house, has I feel a reasonable reaction.
Toby, you can't just ask Jimmy for dinner every single night, okay?
I think that she has a reasonable reaction. I think that maybe with a little less attitude, it would have been a reasonable reaction. Like,
yes,
I don't know.
A reasonable reaction
no,
maybe for a 14-year-old.
Yes. Like, didn't I ask you not to bring your ass over here?
Yeah, no, dead ass. So she has a conversation with Terry.
He's totally here all the time. It's suffocating. You know what? At this point, I'm just about ready to break up with him.
She has this conversation in the kitchen, which is not that big, 2 feet away from Toby, who is also low-key in the conversation, like he's interacting with them.
He's your boyfriend. Yeah, and he's driving me crazy.
He said something to them, and then she continued to talk, like as if she was talking to everyone in the kitchen. So this conversation happens. She expresses how she wants to break up with him. So then Toby goes to Jimmy and he tries to like sort of low-key say like, hey,
Give it a rest. Don't suffocate it.
What are you saying? She doesn't want to break up, does she?
Jimmy gets all of his feelings. Later on, Ashley and Jimmy are at Jimmy's house after he had hyped up the fact that his mom was about to make this bomb-ass dinner with lobster. They get to the house and no one's there. And there's a note from mom and dad saying, hey, here's somebody to order pizza. He's already annoyed because he knows Ashley isn't, is feeling smothered. So he confronts her. And
Can we just break up and get this over with?
Can we just forget this? It's your birthday.
Oh, I get it. You don't want to break up with me because it's my birthday? What is that, like my birthday present?
break up with me. End it. Just leave.
Go.
And Ashley leaves because she's upset. He's upset. He ends up ordering pizza. And then you kind of get a glimpse into Jimmy's life again, where he calls the pizza guy by name.
Hi, Antonio. It's Jimmy. Yeah, the usual.
Wow. So he gets pizza a lot. He's home alone a lot. And the pizza guy knows his name. So, or he knows the pizza guy's name at least. So that's, that makes you a little more sympathetic toward Jimmy. You understand why he's at Ashley's house all the time. And it doesn't seem like Ashley is very aware of that until she goes to his house and realizes it.
It was sad. Like, your parents don't even acknowledge that it's your birthday. They're not making an effort to be around you on your birthday. And clearly,
they're not spending the quality time with you.
This is why I said that I was down the line on this episode. Like, for me, I was in the middle. Like, I understand both sides, because to me, that's really sad. And I feel for Jimmy, and I understand why he's clinging to the family dynamics at Ashley's house and like that family dinner and all of these things. And that's, he's craving that. And because it's filling this hole, this emptiness that he is seeing at his own house. And I get that. And that's sad to me. That's really sad. And I feel that. At the same time, though, I don't feel like, and again, this is why I'm down the middle, I don't feel like that invalidates Ashley's feelings. Everyone has a different love language. If that's not your love language, right? Like, you don't want to be around your partner all the time to this extent, that's not necessarily fair to her, in the sense where, like, she now feels like, even though this is not my love language, I have to suck it up and have this person at my house 24/7 every single day out of guilt. I see both sides. Like, I do. I feel for both of them. I've experienced suffocation, and I don't like that, because I know how to be alone and on my own. And I've also experienced immense amounts of loneliness, and I don't like that either. I guess that's why I'm like down the line, where I'm like, I see both sides, but I do really feel for Jimmy in the fact that, like, he is alone and he just wants that companionship, friendship, love, whatever it may be, family dynamics. And I feel for him, and maybe he just doesn't know how to do it in an appropriate amount, whatever that may be.
2 hours later.
Well, that's basically it. You know, they end up staying together. He kicks her out. Next day at school, you see him taking down Ashley's picture, but he's obviously like hurt by it.
I just think that maybe I overreacted. Maybe I didn't mean to call you.
Suffocating, clingy, a suction cup.
Jimmy, please.
And he also apologizes for smothering her, and he's like, you know, I love you. And like, they love each other. They really do. Like, on their little 8th grade ways, they care about each other. And that was nice to see them come to an understanding at the end, and they end up staying together. This is probably one of my top episodes, honestly, of all time.
Storyline B was everything. I love that. I love this, like, it's like women supporting women. I think that's what I loved about it, is that like Paige and Emma, they're not meant to be friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like two personalities that are never gonna mesh.
Honey, you wish.
Even in her messiness and her like low-key shade that she was throwing, at the end of the day, it was like, I got you.
I just love that. Like you said, the women supporting women, even in their shade, they're still like, I got you. And like, just Emma being very vocal about like, this is a natural thing and this happened, because I feel like I would not like, no, I know. I was very embarrassed by the idea of even like smelling different. If I had my period, I was like very, and she was very much like, this is what happened to me. I got my first period today. Wasn't ready for it. So now I'm wearing gym shorts. It is what it is.
Perfectly natural. Nothing to be ashamed of, right, Miss Kwan?
Absolutely right, Emma.
And I love that. And I love the fact that this is sort of an introduction for Jimmy and Ashley, and for people watching, like, you know, to openly communicate your feelings and to say what's going on in your life.
Can we talk?
I think we talked enough last night.
Like, you can't just quit. Because you don't grow if you're just like, oh, this isn't working, this is bothering me, I want to quit. Like, you have to communicate, you have to be open with each other. And the fact that it took Ashley almost wanting to break up with Jimmy for them to communicate sucks a little bit, but it's sort of an introduction, like, to avoid this from happening next time, let me tell you what's going on through my mind right now.
You know what time it is?
Is it time to Degrassi go there?
It sure is. Cue the music.
It's time to Degrassi go there.
Yeah.
So Asha, what was the moment of this episode that Degrassi goes there for you?
It was Toby saying,
you don't bring people into your life just to throw them away.
That went there for me, because it made me really feel, because we constantly talk about how we don't like Toby, but I don't really like Toby-centered episodes. I'm sorry. It really made me feel for Toby. It made me feel for people that feel like Toby. It's like, if you're not serious about this person being in your life or just being a part of your life, then, you know, don't waste their time to hurt them later, you know? So I feel like Toby is really affected by that, and because of his personal life. And I think it's actually really wonderful to see him sort of adopt that into his everyday life, where he's like, I'm not just friends with anyone, or I don't just care about anyone. Like, I want you to be in my life, which is why I fucks with you, basically. So
I think for me, honestly, the part that Degrassi goes there was Emma telling off JT like it was nobody's business, and being like, yeah, I got my period.
No, I just got my period for the first time.
And what?
And just the silence on his end. It really was. It was that energy.
He went,
like, and what?
Your pin drop.
The drama. Yeah, and it just goes to show like how immature JT is in comparison to someone like Sean, who was in the background. He was like, that's my girl. Yeah, yeah, really? So yeah, I mean, that goes there for me, because listen, I have said on many occasions, I've joked that I think that Emma is the worst.
An alternative title for this podcast could have been Emma's the worst.
Although upon reflection within the past couple months since we've started this podcast, I'm going to go on record and say that I don't think that Emma is the worst. I think Spinner is actually the worst.
Oh, great. Now look what you've done.
I was just kidding, Ray.
Wow, that's so cool, Spinner. Making a grade 7 girl cry.
I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to hate on Emma this episode. I just think I have hated on her in the past. And while that doesn't negate how I feel about her and her prior actions, I was so here for that. I thought that that was everything. And for me, that Degrassi goes there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You know what to do. Subscribe first and foremost. Hit that bell for notifications if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on the gram. Definitely follow us on TikTok.
Tell me the lesson that you learned from Degrassi.
Okay, I already made a TikTok about this, but don't go to the ravine with Jay. Don't do it. The bracelets weren't that cute. You do not want to show up to school with a social disease. Also, when in doubt, kiss Craig. We'll put all our information in the description box down below so you can get it all. There's no reason that you're not following us. Get all that nostalgia and great Degrassi
We're mad
content.
funny, and we're charming, and we love everyone. So just love us back. Period.
And on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We love you. And you've been rejected. You love when I end with that.
I know, it's so funny.